Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 1923 Season 2 Alex's darker journey after separation from Spencer teased by star Julia Schlaepfer. Alex and Spencer Dutton have one of the most epic romances in the world of Taylor Sheridan television, but Julia Schlaepfer explains that 1923 Season 2 will be a much darker journey for them. The newlyweds were ripped apart by the family of Alex's fiancé in the Season 1 finale, with Spencer sent off in a dinghy back to the US, while Alex was sent careening into the arms of her disappointed family. But Alex promised to meet her husband in Montana, and there's no chance she's going back on her word while she's still alive. Yellowstone may have ended, but the story of the Dutton family's hegemony in Montana has just begun, and fans are eager to learn whether Alex is pregnant with John Dutton after her suspicious seasickness in the Season 1 finale of 1923. Either way, she has her work cut out for her when it comes to reuniting with Spencer, and the Season 2 trailer has previewed some of the dangers that lie ahead. In addition to the question of whether she will ever arrive, the show must also answer whether Alex will adjust well enough to ranch life to stay. Schlaepfer, for one, has no doubt that Alex was made for the Yellowstone life, and she had no compunction declaring her confidence in an interview with Scream Rant. John Dutton, i.e.'s Kevin Costner, lineage, on the other hand, was a subject on which she was much less certain. Finally, the actor offered her perspective on what Alex will think of the other Dutton family members after getting to know them exclusively through Kara's letters. 1923 has never been a light-hearted story, given that it opens with all but one of 1883's protagonists dead, and he dies shortly into Season 1. But as Elsa's narration consistently reminds us, the Duttons always endure, and the newly minted Alexander Dutton is no different. Alex and Spencer's love is tested like never before in Season 2, and while their time together thus far has been full of dangers, Schlaepfer warned that now that they're separated, it's bad in a different way. The trailer for 1923 Season 2 highlights Alex in various high-stakes situations, from braving another dangerous sea voyage to being manhandled by a stranger, as she makes her way home to Spencer. Despite the obstacles, Schlaepfer expressed her belief that this trip is preparing her in every which way it knows how to be the future matriarch at the Yellowstone Ranch when she finally arrives. "I think by the time she gets there, hopefully she'll be ready to rock," the actor added. "She'll be able to handle anything after this journey." Of course, such a proclamation can only come true if Alex truly does make it to Montana alive. After all, the Season 1 premiere cautioned that many family members would not live to see the start of the new generation of Duttons. One of the most heartfelt moments between Alex and Spencer in 1923 Season 1 was earlier in their courtship, when she convinced him to set aside his demons long enough to read his aunt Kara's letters. The vivid montage those stories inspired allowed not only the audience, but also Alex herself, to understand the Duttons and life on the ranch better. But will she find the lifestyle as enchanting once she arrives, should she survive the journey, that is? Schlaepfer was enthusiastic about the possibility, gushing, "I hope it lives up to expectations. There are such beautiful characters on that ranch." The beauty lies not only in the Duttons, but in Alex's own tendencies. Alex loves learning about people, she loves meeting people, and she loves Spencer, Schlaepfer explained. "So if that's his family, that is her family, and I think she'd really get along with everyone out there personally." Though Duttons are currently in short supply, they are sure to expand by the time the next generation comes around. A new Dutton is likely to be born before 1923 ends, given that the next prequel series, 1944, is on its way. The question remains whether the parents will be Alex and Spencer or Elizabeth and Jack, but Schlaepfer is none too keen to point fans in either direction. The sun was setting over the Indian Ocean, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, yet Alexandra Dutton felt nothing but a hollow ache in her chest. She had once marveled at these same colors with Spencer, their hands entwined, their love seemingly unbreakable, but now, separated from him by cruel fate, she stood at the edge of the world, her heart shattered, her spirit darkening. Season 2 of 1923 promised a deeper descent into Alexandra's journey, one marred by sorrow, strength, and a fight for survival. Julia Schlaepfer's recent tease of her character's darker path hinted at a transformation in Alex that fans had yet to witness. The bright-eyed British socialite, once swept up in the intoxicating romance of an untamed world, would now be forced to navigate it alone, hardened by the consequences of love and war. A woman reborn in fire. When she had first met Spencer Dutton, Alexandra had been running from a life she no longer wished to live, a life of societal expectations, of cold, calculated marriages, of being a pawn in someone else's game. But with Spencer she had tasted freedom. She had danced with danger and kissed the lips of adventure, and now, cruelly torn away from him, she was once again trapped, only this time it wasn't by her family's desires, but by the ruthless reality of the world they had tried to escape together. The shipwreck that separated them had been only the beginning. Washed ashore on foreign soil, Alex had been left to fend for herself, uncertain if Spencer was alive or dead. The Alex who had once been carefree and reckless now found herself sharpening into something unbreakable. Grief did not break her, it reforged her. With Spencer gone, she had two choices: crumble under the weight of despair or fight tooth and nail to get back to him. She chose the latter. The darkness that grows. Season 2 would see Alex face trials unlike any before. Her journey back to Spencer was not just about crossing an ocean. It was about navigating the shadows growing inside her. Gone was the woman who had giggled at Spencer's teasing. In her place was one who would stare down the barrel of a gun if it meant survival. Betrayal lurked at every corner. Alone and desperate, she was forced to rely on strangers, never knowing if they would aid her or exploit her vulnerability. The lessons she learned from Spencer, how to track, how to fight, how to trust her instincts, became her lifeline. Each hardship carved into her, making her colder, sharper. She still loved him, but love was no longer enough. The world was cruel, and she would be crueler if that's what it took to return to him. Haunted by Spencer's absence. The memories of Spencer became both her comfort and her torment. She saw him in every flicker of golden sunlight, in every whisper of the wind. His voice was etched in her mind, his promises echoing like a cruel taunt. "I will never leave you." But he hadn't he? Not by choice, but by fate's merciless hand. The nightmares came often. Drenched in sweat, she would wake up gasping, convinced she had lost him forever. In the quiet hours of the night, her thoughts grew darker. What if he had moved on? What if she was chasing a ghost? Yet the thought of giving up was more unbearable than the pain of uncertainty. She would rather die searching for him than live a life knowing she hadn't fought hard enough. A brush with death. Season 2 would push Alex to her limits. One fateful night, in a dimly lit alley of a foreign city, she would find herself cornered by men who saw only a defenseless woman. But Alex was no longer the naive girl who had fled an arranged marriage. She was battle-worn, desperate, and dangerously unafraid. A blade against her throat, a sinister whisper in her ear. She had two options: surrender or strike first. She chose to fight. When the dust settled, blood stained her hands. For the first time, she truly understood what it meant to survive. The darkness Spencer had always carried with him had now touched her. She had become something else entirely, someone who knew what it took to live in a world that devoured the weak.